Yes?
Yeah, would you have any advice for like a really young comedian just getting started?
You're not that young. What are you? 30s? You just have to go. You have to be very resilient. You have to go up, and you can't really take advice from anybody. You just have to try find your own path of going on and trying and failing and trying and failing. And don't get addicted to your jokes. If you're doing some joke, once you get a joke that gets a laugh, you'll never want to stop doing it because your body doesn't want to be in pain. So your body finds a joke. Oh, this joke always kills. And you wrote it in your first year. What are the odds it's good? It stinks. You just have to live with the premise that whatever you're doing as a stand-up is probably really bad, even if it's working. It's probably terrible. So always think that, oh, this is awful. It's working. It's keeping me alive right now, but I can't wait to get rid of it. I did the same act for 20 years. Because I was terrified to stop doing jokes that killed. And then I got rid of it, and now I've done 4 or 5 hours in 4 or 5 years. Because I just decided to stop. You know, either I'm going to kill myself or do this the harder way. Yes?
You talked about a lot of fun dates and stuff.
Yeah.
You still have to make it funny. So what do you do, like, do you write the July or what do you do if you can't make it funny? But you still are dying to talk about it. You just push it on to the next year?
Push it out of the next year. I don't think that would help, but yeah, that's part of what the process is. I'll come up with something that I just know is a good idea, but I haven't forged it yet. It's hard because I do enjoy being in places on stage that are tricky for people to talk about, because I think those are great places to get laughs. First of all, any new laugh, anytime you're laughing at something you haven't laughed at before, I think that's really exhilarating and also positive. If you go in your mind to places where you're usually afraid to be and you laugh there, that's positive. But I have to go there first, ahead of you. I'm like the dude that climbs up with the rope that puts in the things, but I ain't got no things when I go up. So I go up on stage and I just say horrible things, and people go, oh, like you just see it hit them. And now I have trust of the audience, which almost works against me. Because when I do shows, people know who I am, and they go, this guy's always made me laugh with really good spinning plates and funny polished stuff. And I just go up there and go, hey, babies with AIDS, how about that? And they go, oh, Jesus. But they're like, come on, I've seen you turn that into something. That's all I got, baby. I die and shame. And it's hard. And the heat of the pressure from that actually usually helps me find something. I dig deep, and usually I tape my legs and all that shit. And I'm like a very old pitcher. And then I find something. And then it gets a little better and a little better. But yeah, when I start with nothing, it's not just that I'm not funny. I'm also going to really hurt people's feelings for about 3 months. It's hard. But in the end, I end up with stuff that's in that ilk that is funny. Hopefully. Unless, again, I'm out and tapped, which is likely right now. Yes?
I noticed you mess around with the format of the TV show a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, in a way. I mean, the episodes of the show are, I don't always know what's going to be together. Sometimes I shoot just the pieces. And I sometimes would find out early on, these 2 pieces are probably going to go together. But often I don't. I mean, the way we shoot it schedule-wise, we just shoot the pieces. We don't go episode 14, well, I haven't done 14, but we don't say episode 10 is going to be the dentist thing and the Therese, the woman in the supermarket. Those were never meant to be together. They just were 2 pieces that we shot, and we produced them as their own thing. And I went out and did stand-up several times. So, like that one, for instance, I started cutting together. They sort of got produced around the same time, so they were ready. And something about the way they fit together, they were both kind of upsetting in a way I really liked. And then I read somebody said that in the first part, somebody does something awful to me, and then the second part, I do something awful to somebody else, uninvited. person. Something like that. So for some reason they come together. I don't always know exactly why. And then other times I want it to just be a whole episode, if it's worth it. I generally write the thing, and then if it doesn't feel like it's going to have a good ending, I just stop writing it. I just go, let's just stop right there. And then I know that some stand-up will chop in. Sometimes, like when I did the religion episode, the bathroom piece of the glory hole was not written as the introduction to the religion episode. I just wrote this thing of being in a bathroom with this glory hole and a guy being really enthusiastic about, oh, terrific, I'm going to go in there. And asking him about it. And there's actually a whole part that I cut where he sticks his dick in there and he has this amazing experience. I kept having to tell him not to sexualize it. He was just going, ah! And screaming, he ends up bursting into tears. It's like 5 minutes. And there's like sounds of like rams hitting each other. Like I used all these sound effects. And it's really sick. And like earthquake sounds and this Middle Eastern music that I keep using for different reasons. And I cut all of that and ended up, I saw it and I was like, this is shit. It's just, I hate it. But then at that time I was developing the God episode and I went, that's fucking awesome if I just use the beginning and let it lead into this place. So sometimes it comes together like that. I produce something, not sure why I'm going to use it, and it ends up slotting into something else. And that's how my stand-up works. I'll tell a little story or talk about a small thing, and it'll just float, and then later it'll be turned into some other thing. Yes?
I have a question related to that. Do you enjoy editing yourself? And then if you edit your show, you edit this?
I edited that, yeah.
Cheap? Or
Partly because it's cheap and partly because, well, for different reasons than the show. The show I love editing because it's part of the filmmaking process. The thing I enjoy the most about my show is directing and editing it. I don't love acting in it. Yeah. It's really it's an exhausting job that I have doing the show. So often I'll get to the set and it's just such a motherfucker to get to that set and set everything up and the location, and then we get the camera put on the right piece of equipment, we choose a lens, and then I go, oh God, this is me, I gotta do this. This is pointed at my face. I haven't slept. My kids didn't let me sleep late, and I gotta act now. So, I'm scared. Ugh, I hate it, sometimes. I love it when I'm acting with somebody who's great. It's really fun. Those are great moments when I'm reacting to somebody who I know is doing beautiful work for my show. I'm kind of holding my breath. But anyway, cutting this is different. I'm cutting this because this is a hard thing to cut. There aren't a lot of people who are good at it. There's a lot of people who are bad at it. Like the people who cut the specials for places like Comedy Central, they just don't know how the fuck to do it. There's a way to keep the flow going. There's a way to cut where it's helpful. And I designed the thing. So, I mean, I put the cameras in all the places. So there were 6 cameras here. And they're all red cameras. They're all really high-tech 4K cameras, and we chose every lens very carefully. They're all film lenses, 35mm movie lenses. There's only 2 variable lenses for anybody that gives a shit about glass in the back of the room. And but I wanted fast lenses that opened wide aperture so that there could be less depth of field when we wanted and stuff like that. So there was a camera on stage with me on a Steadicam, like this close. I think I left in a part where I tell him to back off. And then there was a jib camera that just floats in front of my face that's on a big arm. So those 2 cameras kind of gave you that first-person feeling, which is what I wanted. Instead of most comedy specials and concert films have the cameras in the back with long compressed lenses that feel very remote. But when you're really on stage with wide angle lenses, it's just totally different feel. Some people hate it, but I like it. I like it for this. It was unique to me for this. Yes?
When you were a young person, did you have any ambitions?
Wow.
When I was a young person, yes? Yeah.
Did you have any ambitions to do anything important with your life?
No, that's a great question. Yes? Is that the whole? I think there's more.
Well, yeah, and that's partly a joke, but also,
Yeah.
I'm seriously, if Louis C.K. wasn't a comedian,
Mm-hmm.
what might you have been doing in different life?
Oh boy, I don't think it would be important. I don't think I could do anything else. It's funny, I like that you say young person, because that leaves out, there's not relative. It's not a relative term. It's not when you were younger, so you could put anybody in any age group there. When you were a young person, because, sir, you are not. That is a thing, when you were, a thing you're not any longer. Relative to anybody on earth. Did I want to be doing anything important? I wanted to be a lawyer at one point. Like, I really got into, I had free speech for some reason is something that's extremely, like, drives me kind of crazy when somebody